Are there any other questions? Ann?
I have a couple statements and a couple questions. Oh, I'm sorry. I'll start over. I have a couple questions, but more so I have a few statements. When Gail came up to speak, she said it was a rumor that there was 8 movie theaters. But to me, when I look at the screen at your architectural drawings, it seems like there's 8 theaters. And then you made a statement that this is a room that would hold 100 people at a theater. There's 4 different showings that traffic would be coming and going and leaving. And this is once in a while. This is not 4 times a weekend, 4 times a day. So that's my concern is that there's 8 movie theaters. You keep saying 2, but 1,300 people looks like 8 to me. I'm just gonna go on a little bit. Okay, I've been thinking about this a lot. Green initiatives are in the town of Southbury. Emissions equal, more cars equals more emissions, which is not green, okay? And I think the air quality study should be done. Because the amount of traffic that's gonna come through Southbury, last Wednesday, there was construction on the bridge by Kmart Plaza. It took me 1/2 hour to get down Main Street to get to the post office. So now if you have a problem on 84 going either way, there was traffic coming west, there was traffic coming east, they were all getting off at 14 and 15. If there's a movie theater with 1,300 people with 2 screens, there's gonna be a lot of traffic. So now we say that there's gonna be revenue coming in of $200,000 of tax money, something like that you said. Is that right? Something to that effect. But is that money gonna be spent is for the town, or is that money gonna be burdened by widening the roads to 4 lanes? Are we gonna have to add more fire trucks? Well, I'm gonna finish and then you can answer. Are we gonna have more responses to calls for service for police? Do we have enough police officers? Are we gonna have to start hiring police officers? Do we need more fire trucks? Do we need more EMS? These are all things that $200,000 is great coming into town, but if we have to spend it $500 to get this working, then I don't think it really evens out here. So the whole 8 movie theater thing, is that what we're showing up here? When you showed your drawings, it was 8 movie theaters, is that correct?
Yes.
So 8 movie theaters with 1,300 people coming through town when Main Street already is being affected by traffic. How are we gonna work on that?
I'll address it.
Please.
The amazing thing about the theater business, and you brought up some good points, will they be successful or not, but we all know when we go to the theaters, they're usually busy only a couple of nights a week, Friday and Saturday night, and in our case, sometimes on Tuesday, because we have a $5 Tuesday for everything. So when you say 1,300 seats, it would be a blessing if we could come anywhere near that capacity, that the theater would actually have that many people come in. What we typically find is, let's say if we have a 100-seat theater, we have to cut off sales at somewhere around 60 seats, because most people won't sit in the first or second rows. And if we actually remove the first or second rows of the theater, then people still wouldn't sit in the third or fourth. So to say that a theater would have a capacity of 1,300 people, it would be a miracle, because normally there's only 1 film a week that does very well. And our times at the theater, when our peak times are normally about 7 o'clock to 7:30. So those particular times are off peak. The post office is long since closed. And that's when we peak out, which is an off time for everyone else. And I think when the State Traffic Commission is done with us, you might be right. We might be widening the road for you. They don't throw the burden on the town. They throw it on the developer. So I've spent 8-9 months with state traffic and improved roads and traffic lights and fiber optics and other things that the state wanted done, and put the onus on the developer, which is us. So they will not let something come if it doesn't work, and that's why we hire traffic engineers to address that. So their studies will show if there's a problem before we even get out of the gate. But to say 1,300 people, it'd be more like on a busy night, 700-800 people. That's the most we see typically on a show. And those are divided amongst 8 theaters. We use that for an example. So you might have you know, 70, 60, 70, 80 people in each theater. Those show times are staggered. When the shows start, they begin at 7 o'clock, and then every 10 to 15 minutes, we have another show start. And when those shows break, we wait 35 to 60 minutes to have all the theaters empty for the next show to come. The second show, typically, my experience is no one comes out late. I know I'm getting older now. I don't like to drive too late at night. Your night vision isn't what it used to be. And most people come for that 7 o'clock show, and it's typically Friday and Saturday. Sometimes Sunday afternoon, Sunday evenings are virtually no attendance whatsoever because people are ready to go back to work. So keeping out a theater at 1,300 would be a miracle.
Okay, my other
Okay.
question is the
I'm
calls
ready.
for service. You have other film houses in Connecticut. You
We have
well,
one in Wallington.
Okay, now, do you see, like, doing research, I found out that there's more break-ins, car thefts, there's more kids hanging around, there's gonna be more crime. Do you
Well-
see that?
At our location, no, because we have a security guard on our theater every day, right, that stays for the staff, employees, and customers. And on the Tuesday nights, because that's our busiest night, right, we have a policeman, local policeman that we hire. And normally, the local policeman has his supervisor and some of his friends come down because there's really not much happening at the theater other than people watching the movie for the hour and a half or 2 hours of the showtime. So you usually have them checking on the policeman and talking with the security guard possibly at the theater.
Okay.
So, theaters are basically designed, as far as the other facilities with fire and everything, we work with the local fire department and fire marshals. Our theaters are designed to be fireproof. And almost everything in it, down to the carpet, the drapes, the ceiling tiles, the sprinklers, everything is designed to prevent that type of issue, so.
And another problem I have with traffic, I'm just a what-if kind of person, so we have a volunteer fire department, and what if we have a lot of traffic coming out at a certain time, and the volunteer fire department, that firefighters that are coming from the purchase can't get to a call? Is that gonna limit us as citizens, that we can't get fire engines, we can't get EMS, we can't get police to where we need to get to?
I can't see a situation, of course, you always worry, and I'm the same way, you always worry about what if might happen. But that's what the town boards look at and address with traffic flow. We have traffic flow going out the rear of the facility that can also exit out at the light next to the current post office, so they all don't have to come out on the main street directly in front of the theater. So hopefully, all the engineers and people that are working so diligently on this will come up with an answer that will address every issue like that and then some.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Any other members of the EDC? Liz?
Yeah.